Dana Abercrombie, The Koalition. Thank you both so much for speaking to me. This series is absolutely beautiful. But I want to start off right now with Sophie really quickly. Um, when doing, you're the director of photography, when doing the animals and especially the elephants and looking at the different landscapes, what is it that you're looking for that's different than what we've seen before?
Great question. Really good question. I think that elephants are incredibly emotional. And so
Mhm.
for me and for the whole team, Faith and I were lucky enough to work together on the elephant on Savannah Queens. And I think what we were looking for was to show that leadership that elephants give and the gentle way they lead. This whole series is about female leadership in nature and how they all do it differently. And elephants do it through passing down knowledge. It's a really hard thing to show. And so you have to be absolutely fine tuned. We had a book, do you remember our book of elephant language, which has been developed by Joyce Poole, an elephant researcher. And every single way an elephant moves its ears, its trunk, its body posture can be interpreted. And so we were just cued into looking to all those subtleties so that we could really tell the fullest stories about these incredible creatures and engage you. And if you were engaged, then we have won.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And for Faith, what's interesting is you're crafting a story. You're filming, but there's a story that's being told either right now or later on. So, what is it, that moment when you realize that we have a story? And do you know what that story is when you're filming it?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we want to film behavior, something that you can see and go, oh, this is happening. So often we're also trying to tie that in with the characters because we want you to fall in love with these characters. You don't want to watch this and then just go, this is elephant 2, 4, 6, 7, whatever. You want to see personalities. You want to see how they're relating with their family. So all these moments of behavior all connect to tell a fuller story. So at the end of the day, when we get to the edit, because we've filmed for like 3 years, and then now you're watching hours and hours and hours of footage. Now you have to determine what moments that we're seeing are going to come together to tell a complete story. Because I think if we included everything, we'd have you watching one episode days, for days.
Days and days. Really? But everything you see is true, which is really important to, there's such strength and veracity, isn't there?
Yeah. So when you're in the field and it's happening, obviously you don't have the benefit of being in the edit. There are moments that you just do your best to cover as well as possible. And by cover, I just mean getting it from different angles. So when you get to the edit, you've got everything that you need. And sometimes it's very clear, like we've got this is a defining moment, such as when Sophie filmed the moment of predation with the hyenas and the elephants on Savannah Queens. We knew that was an
incredible moment. And especially because we were filming in the pitch dark with just the light of the moon, with this incredible technology that allows us to film in color. And your heart is in your mouth because you're filming something and you're rooting for the baby elephant because it's our baby, please. But you just have to do your job. Nature is writing the script and you have to let it unfold as it did. And thankfully it unfolded well.
And she shot it well. I mean, she covered it.
It was a team.
She's
teamwork.
A queen. Yeah, but I mean, that we knew was going to make the final story because it's never been filmed before.
Yeah, so, it's the first time I've certainly ever seen it, and it blew me away. Actually, it's an incredible moment in the show.
For both of you, how does the advancement of technology, you touched upon it earlier, really affect what it is you're looking for that moment?
It affects it in so many ways because what you've got with drones or with cameras that can go along, and move with an animal is that you can elephants walk a lot. So you'll see that, the theme is that she's walking and walking and walking. So they do. And that's much easier to do if you can walk with the elephant. And so we have cameras that everything is, we've bought in everything from the kitchen sink really from the movie industry. So we're using tech that we're bumping along on really a horrible terrain, killing cameras that's meant to be used for filming F1 motor cars. But it really helps tell the story and put points. Everything we want to show you needs to have a message about the story. It needs to be solidly behind the story.
Yeah, and the technology just immerses you in that world.
It does.
Because you want to feel like you're, like when we're moving with the herd, that you're part of the herd.
Yeah.
And the technology that we use, even for the bees, the orchid bees, it was you're literally at, you know, eye level.
You're
with
part
these
of the bee.
tiny, because it's real, it's not CGI or anything.
Yeah.
So it really immerses you, which was part of the series' ambition, is to just put you right there in the world with them.
And we had some extraordinary cinematographers who actually, because there's very few women in our industry and who are behind the camera, and that was one of the main drivers behind Queens, was to get more diverse and people who didn't look like us. I mean, you bet more voices, different voices, and we got them on board. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we've got a load of male allies who came on because they were like, they recognized that gap and how we can tell better stories and by collaborating. And then we get different voices working with Faith, having her expertise as a Kenyan gave us so much and gave us so much more and more richness to the Savannah Queens episode, which we would have been daft to have, you know, to have not taken full advantage of.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking to me. It's beautiful, beautiful series. So thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.